Hello, my loves. Welcome to this Taurus new moon reading. This reading is for you if you have Libra rising and or if 28 degrees, 26 minutes of Taurus shows up in your 8th house. Welcome in. If you have not already watched the introduction to this reading and you want to learn more about what it is that we're doing here, I invite you into that. It's linked in the description and popping up on YouTube. So the 8th house is where this new moon in Taurus is happening for you. The houses in the zodiac story represent where things are occurring. So the 8th house is the house of transformation, ruled by the 8th sign of the zodiac, which is Scorpio. So this is the area of your life that deals with death and rebirth, diving deep, magic, sexuality, and inheritance. These are very transformative energies and it's a very interesting, intriguing place in our lives to focus on. If you're using the whole house system, which means you're using your rising sign to determine your houses, you will have Taurus as the ruler of your 8th house, meaning that the energy of Taurus is always present in this area of your life, and any planets or any aspects that you have in Taurus are expressing themselves in this area of your life as well. So we're going to have two parts of this reading. Part number 1, you're being invited to get your own guidance, really dig deep, tap into your instincts, feel your reactions to the sentences and words that we're going to be talking about here, the messages that are coming through, and to really engage with your own understanding of what the messages are for you. We're using the Karma cards by Monte Farber, and these cards work in this way. They're more so than any of the other decks I use. They're really giving you the information and guidance. I'm always inviting you into that anyway, but the Taurus new moon really wanted us to physically experience what those sensations are like in your body when you're getting intuitive understandings and hits and guidance. So I would recommend grabbing a journal so you can write down all the little nuances of what's coming up for you as you engage in this content and reading. And I will not be offering any interpretation during that section. Then we're going to move on to reviewing the angel therapy card that came through for the new moon in Aries, both of them. And we're going to be applying it to the human condition content like we did for the eclipses. Okay. So here's the karma cards. They're read across, and there's 3 different sentences that we're going to be forming with these 3 cards. I have 2 here to kind of give you the example. It's the moon card and the in Taurus card. There's planet cards, sign cards, and house cards, which form a sentence that gives you guidance. So the first sentence will be spiritual guidance, second sentence will be mental guidance, and the last sentence will be physical guidance. And you're going to interact with and write down and journal about any of these that resonate with you. So you read it across like this. Defend your beliefs, ... accept the costs of ... and let your feelings tell you how to use the most direct way to, or use the most direct way and ... Okay. So if you haven't already, closed your eyes, taken a few deep breaths, and opened your heart to receive the guidance most aligned for you at this time. Here's your invitation to do that. Here's the space to do that. Pause the video if you need more time. You can call in any energies you like to work with. I just ask that they be here in unconditional love and in support of your highest good and the highest good of all. All right, here is our card. Sentence number 1 is the spiritual guidance. Defend your beliefs as a life or death issue. Pause, journal. What does that mean to you? Does that resonate with you? What's that evoke within you? What do you think about when you hear that? Only continue on with this video when you're complete with that first sentence, okay? Mental message. Accept the costs of getting and using power. Pause, journal. How does that resonate? What does that mean for you? And your physical message. Let your feelings tell you how to use the most direct way and use other people's resources. What is that guiding you to do? Pause, journal. Come back to me only when you've given this the attention that it is due. Okay. So the card that came through for the Aries new moon readings is visualize success. And the message is to see yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in a positive outcome. Back then we were talking about your one-on-one dynamic and relationships. And now we're moving to apply this to your transformation, to death and rebirth, to inheritance, to magic. So as this relates to the human condition content, what I've been experiencing is a very much a transformation and life, like rebirth, energy with this understanding. It's almost like seeing my entire life through a completely different lens, a lens of compassion and understanding and awareness that I didn't have when I experienced life the first time around. And now in review, I'm able to see things differently and I feel reborn. I feel like a whole different person because of this understanding and this content and this information. The card here is telling you to visualize success, see yourself doing well in this transformation, in this rebirth. Sometimes this content and information can be destabilizing for people only because it's so confronting. We have to kind of confront the things that we've been running from, and we have all sorts of defense mechanisms in place to keep us from going to the place of facing the darkness, facing the reality that our human family do not act lovingly and cooperatively and selflessly for each other, and that there's so much competition and so much anger and destruction in our world and in our species and towards each other and towards our planet and towards our soul friends. And all of this is like too confronting. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to admit it. We just run from it. And so when we finally stop running and we encounter information that brings us face to face with this reality, and it will guide us through it, but that face-to-face moment, we resist it because we built up defense mechanisms, because before we had this knowledge and understanding, it was too hard to confront. It was just unbearably depressing. And so we learned to just avoid it. Now we don't have to do that. But sometimes you might experience a little resistance to it at first. Okay? And so know that you can visualize success in this to help you with that. Just see yourself doing well in this situation. See yourself on the other side of this. I love that she's also eating fruit, because this content, if you read Freedom, the book, or any of Jeremy's other stuff, he mentions how this content relates to the Adam and Eve story, the fruit of knowledge, right? Now we have the knowledge that we've been seeking. And we can kind of return to the Garden of Eden. So visualize yourself returning to this Garden of Eden now that you've digested the fruit, so to speak. And have faith in a positive outcome for humanity. This is a big, huge shift for humanity. We are being invited into this amazing new earth, Garden of Eden 2.0. And it offers such a positive outcome for our future as a species. And it takes all of us focusing on the success of our species to really transform the reality that we are experiencing at this time. And I feel like it's going to get more and more important as we go through this year and next year. Astrological cycles certainly point to that. But remember, with the astrological cycles and with these cards, it's always up to what guidance you're getting for yourself. And remember that you are co-creating. You are not a victim to any of these cycles, informations, or guidance that's coming through. You are interpreting them, and you are in control of your co-creative power. Okay, you are working with the universe and the cycles to create your own play, your own story, your own unfolding. I'm tapping in to see what else is here. Visualize success is such an interesting card with the human condition content. And it's called the deaf effect, by the way, when you have trouble understanding this information and content. So if you hear that in Jeremy's work, that's what we're referring to here. I'm referring to here with this visualize success card. See yourself getting over the deaf effect. See humanity getting over this deaf effect. See humanity finally facing the things we've been running from with the ability to understand them and move past them and to bring them into the light of understanding. It's big, it's beautiful, it's transformative. There's a rebirth happening for our entire species as we reclaim our loving, altruistic, collaborative, cooperative, selflessly giving selves, instinctual natures. And our intellect finally knows enough to be able to step aside and act as an ally to the instincts instead of having to take control for a while in order to learn enough to be able to support the instincts in moving forward. So there's definitely a rebirth here, a new energy, a transformation in how we are interacting with each other, interacting with ourselves, interacting with our world, and really visualizing this Garden of Eden for humanity and for yourself to be able to navigate through whatever resistances you might have, destabilization you might feel in the process of really understanding what Jeremy Griffith has discovered and what the World Transformation Movement, the WTM, has been sharing and spreading with the world. Humancondition.com is the site you can go to. The book is free and available. There's many books. Freedom is the book that is referred to in the interview. And if you haven't watched the interview, I do recommend doing that as well. Just so you know, I am not sponsored. I am not in cahoots with the WTM at all. I'm not getting any sort of reward for sharing this information. I'm doing it because I know that it is the most powerful information of our species, that our species has ever encountered. Definitely of the century. Excuse me. It's so powerful, I got choked up there. And I'm sharing it because I know that it's the most transformative, most healing, most empowering information that I could be sharing with you. So I'm sharing it with you in the ways that I feel inspired. And this definitely feels like an inspiration. So visualize success in your transformation, in your rebirth, in your synthesizing and understanding of this information of the human condition, and see success for the human race. That's your guidance for this new moon in Taurus, and then whatever guidance you got from the karma cards as well. As always, let me know how this resonates. Let me know if you have questions. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors the universal light within you. Namaste.